When you think of trains, whether you might jump to commuter lines or intercity travel, there is usually one common denominator. The stations are spaced apart by a decent distance, typically several kilometers or more. This is why places with exceptionally short distance between stops always catch my interest. Today, I'm going to introduce you to the top 5 shortest railway station intervals in the Netherlands. First up is our number 5 spot, which should be familiar to many of you, Amsterdam Zuid and Amsterdam Rai. The distance between these two is approximately 1.4 kilometers. Amsterdam Zuid, located in the heart of the Zuidas business district, opened in 1978. It is often regarded as Amsterdam's second central station, serving as a vital hub connecting Schiphol Airport, Duivendrecht, and Wesp. Currently, the station is undergoing a massive renovation project known as the Zuidasdok. This plan involves tunneling the A10 ring road, which currently sandwiches the station, underground to free up space for expanding the train station and integrating bus and tram services. Then we have Amsterdam Rai, named after the nearby exhibition center, the Rijnwell and Automobile Industry. This station opened in 1981, coinciding with the Schiphol to Leiden line, and served as a temporary terminus at the time. Many years later, the old station was phased out and replaced by a new structure, featuring a distinctive glass-curved roof. Due to the eastward extension of the line, it ceased to be a terminus. In 2016, as part of a 4-track railway expansion, 2 new platforms were added to the south side of the station. Though, admittedly, these 2 platforms are quite as pretty as the original structure. So back to the question, why are these 2 stations so close? Couldn't they just be merged into one large station? To answer that, we have to look at Amsterdam Rai's primary service target, the exhibition center next door. This station mainly handles pulse-like waves of human traffic. When large exhibitions are held, tens of thousands of people flood in within a short time frame. If all these people were to crowd into Amsterdam Zuid, it will instantly paralyze the business and commuter traffic there. In this sense, the Rai station acts like a dedicated pressure relief valve, alleviating the crush of the crowd. If you travel to the Netherlands, one of the must-visit attractions is the Zandzeeschans windmill village. If you choose to arrive by train, you will likely get off at a station called Zaandijk Zandzeeschans. But did you know that the previous station, Koch aan den Zaan, is only about 1.2 kilometers away? This place is at number 4 on our list. One of the main reasons these stations are so close is related to the unique ribbon development pattern of the Zaan region. Historically, villages on both banks of the Zaan River extended linearly along the dikes. Zaandijk and Koch aan den Zaan were originally independent villages, but with industrialization, they became geographically merged into a continuous area. During the early days of railway construction in the 19th century, every village strongly demanded its own station to serve its core community. Therefore, stations back then were built to serve specific historical village centers rather than being planned according to the modern logic regarding efficient station spacing. These 2 stations have also undergone renaming. Before 2016, Zaandijk Zandzeeschans and Koch aan den Zaan were called Koch Zaandijk and Koch Bloemwijk, respectively. Since the famous Zandzeeschans attracts millions of tourists annually, authorities needed a clear hub to guide them and avoid confusion over place names. Consequently, Koch Zaandijk was renamed Zaandijk Zandzeeschans to primarily serve tourists, while the neighboring station became Koch aan den Zaan to serve local residents. So, while the stations are quite close, they each have a stable flow of passengers. Furthermore, since the railway is electrified, the acceleration and braking performance of the Sprinter trains is sufficient to handle such short intervals, meaning there is no strong incentive to close one or merge them. I am currently at Soest Station, about to transfer to a branch line to visit our third place holder. Although the exterior of the train says RNet, it is still part of NS, so there is no need to check out and check back in. It's a bit complicated and outside the scope of today's video. Perhaps I will make a separate video specifically explaining that in the future. This station is called Vaticveen. The station to its north, Vaticveen Nord, is only 1.1 kilometers away. Why? The reason is simple: urban expansion. The original Vaticveen station opened in 1934 and was the town's only station at the time. However, the town experienced massive northward population growth in the 60s and 70s. Planners didn't want residents walking too far to catch the train, so they built the new Vaticveen Nord station in the northern residential area. Additionally, if you unfold a map, you will see that the entire town developed in a ribbon shape along the Howard River. This is also why later in 2018, a third station, Vaticveen Triangel, was added to the south of the town. Next is our runner-up, Boskop and Boskop Snijderwijk. The distance between these two is a mere 1.0 km. You might have noticed that the trains here also sport the RNet logo and livery. Does that mean? That's right, Boskop is actually right next to Vaticveen. So, does this single line have two pairs of super short station intervals? To be more accurate, the 5 stations on this line are all extremely close together. From north to south, the distance are 1.0, 1.4, 1.1, and 1.7 kilometers. What exactly is going on here? We have to look at the history of this branch line between Gouda and Alphen aan den Rijn. Opened in 1934, its main purpose was originally transporting timber from Boskop. From the 1990s to the 2000s, there was a plan to build a train line from Gouda through Alphen aan den Rijn and Leiden to the coast, known as the Rhine-Gouden Line or the Rhine-Golden Line. The plan was to operate it as a train-train hybrid. Between 2003 and 2009, light rail trial operations were conducted, but the entire project was ultimately cancelled in 2012. Then, the province of South Holland submitted a streamlined railway plan for the route. After a tendering process, NS and its subsidiary won the bid, and the line resumed operations in 2016. In the following 2 years, ProRail restored 2 stations used during the trial period, Boskop Snijderwijk and Vaticveen Triangel. So, while this line uses heavy rail trains, the nature of its service is basically that of a light rail. The authorities do not intend to operate as a traditional railway, which explains the origin of these extremely short station intervals. Finally, who's our champion? Where exactly are the shortest station intervals in the Netherlands? After doing some research, I realized I've actually covered this place in a previous video. It is Soest and Soest Zuid. The distance between these 2 stations is only 900 meters. Since I have already made a video introducing this station and town, I will try not to repeat too much content here, and I'll put the link to that video in the description. To quickly recap, Soest Station was the second least used station in the Netherlands in 2024, with a daily average of 212 passengers. When I was researching for this video, I found that a key reason for the short distance is, like numbers 2 through 4, the town's ribbon development characteristics. To the west of the old Soest town lies a long narrow stretch of sand dunes, formed about 180,000 years ago, with the highest point reaching 18 meters. And I must say, when I was recording footage for this video on location, I didn't expect that this kind of thing exists in the Netherlands. This geographical feature limited the development of Soest. Later, the town center of gravity gradually shifted south to the Soest South, and the utilization rate of Soest Station became lower and lower. However, it is the only station on a single track line with 2 platforms. Many northbound and southbound trains must cross here. This operational necessity is one of the reasons why the station has not been abolished, even though it is less than a kilometer away from the southern station. Alright, and that's the top 5 shortest railway station distance in the Netherlands. By the way, all these places are located in the Randstad area. As a rail fan myself, I highly recommend that those of you who love railways visit these spots. If you have any other ideas, feel free to share them in the comments. I'll see you in the next video.